Good afternoon, everybody. Hope y'all are having an amazing Tuesday. My day has been busy, to say the least. Uh, first set of claims started rolling in late last night from Louisiana. Ended up with 7 claims last night. Came in after 8 p.m. and then received another 8 this morning, and they're scheduled to keep sending us anywhere between 8 and 10 every single day until I say please stop. And the reason they're sending so many is because we can't get to them. And I don't mean that we don't have the people to get to them. You can't physically get there. So what they're doing is sending us whatever claims possible in the hopes that we can just start getting to some of them. There are claims there in Louisiana that, we're talking to the property owners, and they're saying their entire roof structure is gone. Like, not just some of the shingles, not maybe, like a piece of siding. They're saying that it's gone completely. Like the framing and the decking is gone off of their roofs, and water, of course, just poured in. These are homes around Baton Rouge. I would say Baton Rouge and to the east of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The homes are they're devastated. And the area is consistent of a lot of what we call bricks and sticks. They're not masonry style homes like you would have down in Florida, where homes are built out of cinder blocks, things like that. They're kind of typical structure you would have in places like Louisiana and Texas, where you've got wood framing on the walls and the roof. You've got maybe brick on the outside, a lot of just siding that's there. And like I was trying to tell you guys before, what ends up happening is the pressure from the storms when they go over, it's not just the wind. The wind, of course, will carry things away or pick it up and throw it. But generally, the wind isn't just going to, pull an entire roof structure off. Generally, what happens is the barometric pressure from a storm is really low, and the atmospheric is super low, and the inside pressure of a house is higher. There's just a differential because you have the walls and AC and stuff like that, and the air on the inside is still, well, it's trying to equalize. The high wants to go to low. High pressure wants to go to low pressure. That's how it seeks it out. It's not low going to high. It's high pressure wants to seek out the low pressure. And as that storm's coming through, if something gives way, like I said, we're seeing it right now, and I've seen it in the past where it literally just pops. You might have had a window that popped out, and that's actually what occurred. Is the neighbor actually called our client and told him that it looked like a window blew out. Then they saw the roof pop off. They said they can actually see the water heater in the attic and the HVAC unit from the street. So I tell you what, it's kind of crazy. A lot going on. Streets are still flooded. A lot of areas we just can't get to because it's like a swamp. Some areas dropped like 20 inches of rain. So it's just crazy out there right now. So, we're trying to do our best, kind of seeing what's going on, but it's kind of hectic out there. So anyway, some kind of fun I wanted to talk to you guys about was tomorrow here in Texas, September 1st, there's a whole lot of laws that go into effect. And, I always find it interesting because there's like old laws that are on the books. Like in Texas, we have things called blue laws, where old religious standards in the state prohibited certain things. So, for example, in Texas, you cannot buy liquor on a Sunday. You can buy beer and wine, but you can't buy liquor at a store. You can buy, if you want to go to a bar or something like that, you get a drink, mixed drink, something like that. that can happen at a bar or restaurant, but you can't go to a liquor store on a Sunday and buy liquor. You can only buy beer and wine. That's a blue law. Something similar is in Texas. The car dealerships are all closed. You cannot buy a car in the state of Texas on a Sunday. You cannot have an auto transaction on a car on a Sunday. So, those are, so we always have these laws. I think there's a law somewhere, something about shooting a deer from the second story of a courthouse. There's a lot of this crazy shit. So anyway, September 1st is when a lot of these new laws go into effect from the recent votes. And so I wanted to read these to you. I wanted to read some of these to you. So I thought it kind of funny. And most of them are kind of, they're pretty important. The very first one, biggest thing is that we have here in Texas is a new law going into place. It's called permitless carry or universal carry. And what that is, it means that you can be, as long as you're over 21 and you're legally allowed to own a firearm, you can carry it anywhere in the state without having a concealed carry permit. Now, I do believe that you have to carry it open. I didn't see anything about that, but there's obviously a difference. A concealed carry permit allows you to wear it on your body as if no one knows, like under your, your pants, around your ankle or something like that, or above your, in a holster on your weight, inside your pants on the weight belt, or waist belt. I was thinking about weightlifting. Got some new weightlifting shoes in today, so it was on my mind. But concealed, I believe you still have to have a permit for that. But universal carry is going to allow you to wear a gun, a firearm, a sidearm, openly, anywhere. Now, I do believe that you're still going to have restrictions, places like schools, government buildings, like law enforcement type places, police stations, fire departments, stuff like that. Also, if I've had my concealed carry license, and there are restrictions if, like, for example, in the state of Texas, if the establishment generates 51% of its revenue from the sale of alcohol, you're not permitted to carry a firearm on those premises, unless you're like a law enforcement or something like that. So you generally, but they have to post the signs. Now, you're going to see these signs. They're white signs, and the lettering is 1 inch tall, and it has to be printed in a very specific way, listed out. But in general, unless you generate 51% of your revenue, or you're one of those other classifications, you carry a gun openly throughout everywhere in the state. You want to go into Walmart with it. You want to go into the shopping mall. It doesn't matter. You want to carry a handgun on your side? Now, in Texas, you've always been able to carry a rifle around. If you wanted to, you could walk around with a rifle slung over your shoulder. Generally, if it gets even lowered in the general direction of an individual, you can be arrested. But you could walk into a shopping mall with a shotgun or a rifle slung over your shoulder, and of course, exhibited responsibly and handled responsibly. But yeah, you can legally do that. So anyway, universal carry goes into effect, or permitless carry goes into effect starting tomorrow. Got to be 21 and legally allowed to own a gun. So the next one, I guess they are now making it a felony for the solicitation of prostitution in the state of Texas. I believe that prostitution itself is still a misdemeanor, if you even if I guess if they even charge them with it. But now the actual solicitation of a prostitute is a felony. So that goes into effect tomorrow. They said that, wow. Department of Public Safety reported that approximately 1.8 million online commercial sex ads were posted and over 300,000 were suspected to be children. So that's obviously why this is going into effect. It's to help deal with sex trafficking and child pornography and things like that. It's not necessarily for the legitimate sex worker, which is the oldest profession known to man, is a sex worker. It's not necessarily for them. This is to deal with sex trafficking and underage child pornography, things like that. So that goes into effect tomorrow. This is a new one. I didn't know about this. There are new abortion restrictions here in Texas. Let's see. It was set at 20 weeks. So now you have up to the amount of time people had to decide to undergo the procedure was set at 20 weeks into pregnancy. Now what it is that if a heartbeat can be detected via an ultrasound, you cannot get an abortion in the state of Texas. This is a tough subject, and it's not something I'm really going to touch because I'm a guy, and it's a really hard opinion. It's not something I support, but it's not something that's really my decision to make. So I'm not going to say anything. So I'll move on from that one. Let's see. Big one now. So street racing, obviously that's a big thing here in Houston. They actually show that I-45, the stretch of I-45, Interstate 45 between Houston and Dallas is the deadliest highway in the country. More people die on Interstate 45 than any other highway in the country every year. And they said it was something like an average of one death every 3 miles annually. And it's a long stretch of road. So they're cracking down on street racing. So now they are allowed, the law enforcement is now allowed, and where was this? Here. Law enforcement will have the power to seize vehicles involved in or intending to be involved in misdemeanor or felony highway racing, especially if the person involved is a repeat offender. So if you have a previous offense for street racing, if you've been, got a misdemeanor in the past, if they stop you, even if they believe that your vehicle was intended for highway racing, street racing, they have the right to impound your vehicle now, seize your vehicle. So that's going to be something kind of interesting. I think we'll see a lot of vehicles being impounded. Oof. This is a good one. I think this is overdue, and I think that we should eventually get to full legalization. But they are expanding medical marijuana in Texas. They are now expanding it to include the treatments for people with cancer at all stages. No matter what stage of cancer you have, you will be able to get the use of medical marijuana along with PTSD. If you've been diagnosed with PTSD for anything, you can now be treated with medical marijuana. Now, I can tell you that I have been diagnosed with PTSD just because of the series of events in my life. So, luckily, I've been able to work through it without any kind of medication. But I can tell you that I have several friends. I actually was having a conversation a couple weeks ago with one where he was just constantly in a rage. constantly having issues, constantly. I mean, it would take almost nothing for him, and it wasn't marijuana that got him calmed down. He did get on some medication, but he still deals with a lot of that, the trauma. He was a Marine, and so something he's been suffering with. Actually, I'm going to have him on the show at some point. Really cool guy. Bring him in. I play golf with him from time to time, so he's interesting character. Bring him in. Let him tell some of his stories. But anyway, something like that might be good for him. But yeah, that's awesome. All cancer patients, all stages of cancer patients. And that they said, wow, it says estimated 114,000 Texans suffer from PTSD. So, like I said, I've actually been diagnosed with it. So I can relate. So, hey, good. That'd be something. I'm not sure if it's something I'll actually partake in, but hey, we're getting there, right? Getting on our way to full legalization of marijuana. I think me personally, I've never done a single drug in my life, but I do believe that marijuana should be legal. I have zero issue with marijuana. I don't think that it's an issue. Now, I did read something the other day that said, if you have to smoke something every single day, then you are a drug addict. If it's marijuana and it's classified as a Schedule I drug, if you're smoking it every single day, technically you're classified as a drug addict. Kind of a hard pill to swallow, but if they legalize it, I mean, I guess there's varying levels of drug addiction. Yes, of course, people addicted to oxy, or if you're addicted to, heroin or meth or, something like that. But I think marijuana should be legalized. I don't think it's that serious of an issue. And in fact, they'd probably collect. Texas would probably be the largest tax collector of marijuana in the country, and I think that it would be a great thing for our schools, and I think the tax dollars would go a long, long way. I mean, we already have a surplus of revenue here in the state of Texas. We're one of the only states in the country that every year has an annual surplus. That's why we're constantly building roads, new roads, building huge extensions and over ramps everywhere. So anyway, kind of cool. Critical race theory. Thank God. Critical race theory cannot be taught for K through 12. You cannot teach that bullshit critical race theory in the state of Texas at any school. Nothing between ages of kindergarten through 12. So that's fucking awesome. Critical race theory itself is racist. To try to teach as if instead of just teaching the things about economics or social studies or geography or math, those are benign issues that don't see color. They're just Beethoven was a musician. 2 + 2 is 4. Egypt is located in Africa. Those kinds of things they have nothing to do with race. And critical race theory, all it does is teaches that there is somehow a difference between people of different color. It's kind of bullshit. If it's doing the exact opposite of what we want. I understand the intention behind it. I understand that, hey, it might have been well intended, but also I think Karl Marx, thought what he was trying to do was well intended, and how fucking well did all that turn out. So anyway, critical race theory cannot be taught in the state of Texas, K through 12. So that's awesome. Okay. This was a great one. I like this. I actually heard about this today. If you are a professional sports organization and you do business with the state of Texas, and I'm assuming that means any governmental body within the state of Texas. So the Texans, the Astros, the Rockets, the Stars, the Mavericks, the Cowboys, who the fuck else is up there? Oh, the Rangers, the San Antonio Spurs, even going down into some of the minor league teams around the state. If you do business with the state of Texas, you must play the Star Spangled Banner prior to the start of the event. You cannot start the event without first playing the national anthem. That is fucking awesome. Love it. They have to play it. If you're doing business with the state of Texas, you have to play the national anthem. That's a good one. So here's a pretty good one. So earlier I talked about the blue laws, that you cannot buy liquor at a liquor store on Sundays. Well, now your Sunday Fun Day is about to get even better in the state of Texas, because they have expanded the sale of wine and beer. You used to not be able to buy before noon. You had to wait till noon on Sunday to buy wine or beer. Now you can buy it at 10 a.m. So if you ever wanted to go out and drink mimosas and start your day early with some brunch, now you can drink at 10 a.m. You guys can start getting fucked up extra early on a Sunday. So you still can't buy liquor on Sunday, but you can start buying beer and wine, and that goes across the board. It's not just at restaurants, but it's also at grocery stores and convenience stores. You can actually buy beer and wine starting at 10 a.m. on Sunday, and you can sell it till midnight. It actually expands it to midnight, because I believe on Sunday they cut it off. It was like 12 p.m. To 10 p.m. Now it's 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You can do that. And of course, here in Texas, we already had the universal alcohol to go, which was great. They put it on. They started doing that after the when lockdown went into place, and restaurants were able to sell their food, and you could drive up and pick it up. And they started here in Texas where you could actually get alcohol to go. So you could pull up to a Mexican food restaurant, get your quesadillas, get your chips, get your tacos, and get a gallon of margarita too. That shit's fantastic. So I think that's great here in the state of Texas. But that went into official law back in May, and that's here to stay, because that was only put in through executive order through Governor Abbott during the 2020 executive orders with the lockdown and everything. But now it was signed into law that at any given time, I think the only difference is you have to buy food. I'm not sure you can just call up and say, hey, I want to buy, I want to come by and pick up a couple margaritas or a gallon of margarita or something like that. But you have to buy some food. But the crazy part is, like on a Tuesday, you could literally walk in and say, hey, you want a Jack and Coke, or you want Crown on the Rocks, or you want Tito's and club soda, vodka and cranberry juice. You can call up to a restaurant or a bar and ask for that. You can actually take it out now. I remember growing up as a kid. You couldn't, if your parents are drinking at a table, they couldn't walk out with that drink. Now you can. You're not finished with your margarita, you're not finished with your drink when you guys are leaving the restaurant. You could take that shit with you. You can actually take that with you. You can actually have them put it in a to-go cup, and you can walk right out the fucking door with it. It's totally legal now in the state of Texas. So I'm not sure. I don't believe that we've seen any increase. I'm not sure if there's been an increase in DWIs. I don't believe that there's been any increase in alcohol-related wrecks or, thank God, like vehicular manslaughter, things like that. So that's good. That's where somebody's drunk driving and happens to get into a wreck with, while they've been drinking, and they kill somebody in the other vehicle or even in their own vehicle. It's considered manslaughter. It's an accidental murder. So anyway, let's see. Oh yeah. So here in Texas, there was a couple big things that are going on. Obviously, we had our freeze that happened here. Back in February, and a big part of that, big reason behind the issues we had was that our power grid failed, and we had a lot of people, we had a lot of stuff going on in the West Texas, where we had windmills and things like that. And those windmills froze. We couldn't get them back on. And that started creating a domino effect. And just so happens, several large power plants were offline at that time for maintenance. So now Texas law is going into effect tomorrow that's requiring all power generation facilities to be upgraded, as well as mandatory preparation for extreme weather. So winterization, things like that, stuff you might do up north, it's going to go into effect. So kind of interesting. So I think that's going to be a really good thing. Hopefully, we don't have another freeze like that. Hey, I love the cold weather, but a freeze like that, that's very dangerous. It's very bad. Hey, I didn't mind all the additional claims that were coming in. That's just business. But I don't really like the very cold weather because obviously it does a lot of other things. Of course, there's animals outside that die. People's produce, livestock die. That really sucks. Obviously, people getting out. It's very shitty, dangerous situation. And down here, it's just not something we deal with all the time. It's not something that we deal with on an annual basis. So the people down here aren't prepared. So it's, hey, let it get cold. It's cool. That's fine. Let it get into the 30s. That's cool. Let it get into the upper 20s at nighttime. Totally fine with that. I mean, we usually have, a week or two like that here in Texas, where it'll get like that, maybe drop down into the low 30s, upper 20s, for a week or two, stuff like that at night. I don't mind that. But when it gets down into the single digits and down below zero, for like 48 hours, that's pretty fucking bad here. Because we're just not made for it. It's just not made for it. I mean, I had people in my neighborhood. I let one of my neighbors use my heat gun, because poor guy. He turned off the water main at the street. Now, I say poor guy, really dumb fuck. You've got a disconnect in your house. Most houses have a disconnect where you can turn off the water inside your house from the city water. Now, the main that's outside, the water meter itself, that's really for the city. So they can, it's connecting their line to the line you own. Anything past the meter on your side belongs to you, but there's a disconnect usually inside the house just in case there's, something else going on. Well, he instead of turning off the disconnect inside the house, which is literally just like an arm that's usually like either a quarter turn or a half turn, he turned it off at the water meter. And so, of course, when it froze, he couldn't get the fucking water back on, and it was stuck like that. Well, he went out there with I let him use my heat gun, and he goes and heats it up. And he fucking breaks it. So now his water meter's broken. The main out front is broken. He can't get the water back on. So, just you think about these kinds of things, you see it, and it's like, God. So that's what happens because we just don't deal with it enough down here in Texas. But anyway. Yeah, so guys, I posted on my Facebook story. I wish I would have had them last night, but I posted on my Facebook story and my personal Instagram page, jason.husk. I actually posted on the story, I finally got a pair of lifting shoes. So I've been fighting against it for a long time. If any of you guys go look at my stories like from yesterday, when I do my squats, when I do my deadlifts, I'm typically barefoot. I've been doing it barefoot for a long, long time. And I've been fighting against even wearing shoes because in most shoes, they're kind of squishy. So when you do squats, it's compressing. And so instead of keeping you solid and keeping you in good form, the shoes kind of squish down and it can throw especially if the weight shifts one way or the other, it can really cause you to hurt yourself and your actual power is decreased because instead of putting it directly into a solid floor, it's being compressed into here and you're losing some of your power into that compression. So I actually was offered a pair of brand new Adidas called Adi Powers, brand new pair of lifting shoes. I had somebody from Adidas contacted me about them, and I was offered a brand new pair of them. And they sent them. I got them in today. Love them. Super fucking comfortable. Super excited. Cannot wait to lift them. I wish I would have had them last night because I did do squats yesterday, and I can tell you that one thing because I don't use a belt. I don't. I tell everybody's like, well, why you don't use a belt? Well, the whole purpose of me working out is general fitness, is to keep myself in shape and prepare kind of for worst case scenarios. And I've got kids, and obviously one of the thought processes was about building up strength was, if I were to have one of my kids fall into a pool, I'd be able to drag them out of the pool easily and not have to worry about, myself and them because they're so fucking heavy in the water. Well, that's obviously for upper body strength and endurance, that's one thing. But, say a cabinet, say the kids, one of your kids are messing around and they're fucking around with the dresser and they pull the dresser down on themselves. Well, as far as like for deadlifting and squats, I want to be able to know that I could walk in and I could lift up that dresser without a problem and get it off my child, and where they wouldn't have any long-term damage or anything like that, or it wouldn't be on them for a long period of time. So I don't lift with a belt on, because in a situation like that, if you lift with a belt on all the time, your body is going to get used to lifting with that belt and only with that belt. And in an extreme situation, you're not going to have time to go get that fucking belt and put it on. You're just going to have to go, and your body may not respond the way you think it should. And next thing you know, you tweak something because you've become dependent on that belt. So I've never used them. But what ends up happening, it does because I don't use a belt. I mean, look, your body can only take so much. Your spine, your hips, all that stuff can only take so much. But, so like yesterday I was squatting 365 pounds and I'm able to get down, but I know I should be able to get lower. And part of that is having that additional stability, because with your feet, your bare feet, it does, you can touch it and things like that, but you wear shoes so often that there's a comfort factor there, and you do lose a little bit mentally. I will acknowledge this. You lose some mentally when you're lifting without shoes on. I would probably feel awkward if I even try to do like dumbbell curls or like shoulder, upper body related stuff barefoot. So doing like exercises like squats and things like that barefoot, I can tell you that though I feel better than wearing a regular pair of shoes, I know for a fact that there is some diminishing power return for me just because of the mental side of it. So anyway, super excited about these shoes. They're nice and they're stiff. It's not a shoe you're going to walk around in. The sole, I mean, it's like a solid piece of wood on there. I mean, it's composite material, but I'm super excited about that because they won't move. They don't budge. They don't give when you put weight down on top of them, which transfers into support and, rigidity down in your feet, transfers up your legs. I know it doesn't, I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but when you do a deadlift, when you do a squat, you're driving all your power down into the ground. You're pushing off that ground. The literal thought process behind it is trying to push off the earth. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're pushing through, and you're trying to drive out of it. So, having that connection there is pretty nice. And so anyway, I'm excited about that. Hopefully I'll see a little bit of a change. And I finally gave up because I have increased the weight. My strength has increased exponentially over the last year. I've changed a lot of things, the way I'm training, the way I'm going about my lifting regimens, things like that. My strength has increased substantially, where I was, say, squatting, 285 pounds, and that kind of felt like my max. Now I'm doing 8 sets, and on my 8th set, I'm doing 365 pounds. So that's probably the other side of it too, is for endurance and longevity of of a lot of different things. My feet, my knees, my ankles, things like that. Having that just a little bit of cushion on the inside of the shoe and the stability of it, because there is like a Velcro strap over top of it, so that way my feet aren't shifting. They're not flattening out. They're already in the shoe, and the shoe itself, it's going to transfer directly into that shoe, and then stay solid on the ground, which gives me a uniform surface really to be standing on. So anyway, super excited that those came in. So actually, like I said, put a picture of them on my story. I know, like I talked about it before, I'm bad about buying shoes. Shoes and hats and bags. I'm very, very bad about. Always have been. I'm bad about clothes in general. I like having nice shit. I tell you what, something I got really bad about this year is the purchasing of basically overpriced utility type bullshit. Jesus. God, I bought this year alone, I bought a large Yeti. Well, I'll start with the coolers. I bought a backpack cooler. I actually took that down in Mexico. Worked fantastic. Took it to New Braunfels both times. Works fantastic there. So it's a big waterproof Yeti backpack. You zip it up. You put water on the inside of it. Zip this whole lid up. Dump it upside down, and water's still not coming out through this zipper. Pretty amazing. It's spill-proof. So I got that. I got a very large Yeti for my coffee. Drink coffee in the morning. It's not 6 cups, but I fill the coffee thing, the pot. Wow. I fill the coffee pot up to 6, and that's how I make my coffee. I make it fresh with fresh ground coffee grounds every morning. Black Rifle Coffee Company, Just Black, is actually, you know what? Oh, no, I changed it. I drink Murdered Out now. It's called Murdered Out. That shit is black. Black coffee. Love that shit. It's like rocket fuel. It's better than this fucking Monster, that's for sure. Probably better for me than a Monster, but I can't drink hot coffee all day long. So anyway, got that. I got I bought some of those like koozie style Yetis that you can like take the top off and put a can down inside of it. Got one that's for a little bit taller, for like the little bit taller cans, not like the taller, slimmer cans. I got like the travel coffee cup mug. I got one that's like just sitting around the house, having like some, I don't know, smaller. It's kind of like the coffee cup, but without the handle on it. It's pretty much the same fucking thing. The other day I got a 64-ounce jug. I'd ordered a gallon. I'd ordered a 1 gallon. This was for the gym, actually. I'd ordered a 1 gallon jug for the gym, paid for it, everything. So ordered it, and then like a week later, I get an email saying that they can't fill the order. It's sold out. So I got offered a 64 ounce jug. The one I normally take to the gym was 46 ounces. So this is the largest jug that they've ever made, because the other one's a gallon. So I guess they call this a water bottle. It's a 64 ounce water bottle. So I bought one of those. But then I went and bought 2 Yeti backpacks, and I carry one with me all the time. I do travel a lot, so I got one. I got one that I bought that I actually use for work quite a bit. I can put my iPad in there. I keep my Nikon camera in there, and I keep a big water jug on the inside, plus a little few things here and there. And I can take that with me, and it works fantastic. When I need to go to the office or go out to a job site, I just put everything in this backpack and I go. But I also bought another backpack, a larger one for when I travel. It can carry all. It's just like the other one, just much bigger. I think what they called like one was like a 27 liter backpack or something like that. And then I bought the bigger one, the black one I bought was like a 30-liter backpack. But anyway, that's for like travel. So if I need to, if I'm only going like, if I'm doing like a overnight trip or something like that, I literally can just throw all my shit inside there, go jump on a plane, and I don't have to worry about packing a bag and stuff like that. It's a little bit easier. So anyway, yeah, I kind of got carried away with that this year. But man, I tell you what, it's like they just came out with a lot of really fucking cool shit. And I use all of it all the time. I mean, I use probably 4 different Yeti things every time. I guess I probably could make it to where it's like, I could probably get the same use out of certain other things that were a lot cheaper. But all of this is black. And that's what the coolest fucking thing is for me. It's all black. I bought everything in black. That's how I like it. I like everything black. My vehicles are black. All the shit I own is black. Most of the shirts I own, except I like this red shirt. This is a nice red shirt. A little Travis Matthews shirt. Golf shirts. These are nice. They're comfortable. It's like nice athletic fit. Travis Matthews, it's a golf brand. They've come out. It's like all athletic fit stuff, and it's super comfortable. The shorts, the shirts, everything. I got a lot of this stuff, and it's super, super fucking comfortable. With my body shape and everything, it's so hard finding clothes that fit like regularly. So this stuff is actually really, really nice. The shirts, the polos fit well. The t-shirts fit well. The shorts fit fantastic. I love the way the fucking shorts feel, and they're not super long. They're not like past my knee. You have a little bit shorter of an inseam, so they're just comfortable for me. So anyway, and hats, those things. Oh God. So anyway, started by saying I was just happy I got my shoes in, right? So anyway, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Gotta get to the gym. Got some plans for tonight. So I need to get to the gym and get back home. So thank you to everybody. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope y'all have an amazing day. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Everybody out there, stay safe. And I'll talk to you guys very soon.